He just grabbed a whole bunch of knives. And I remember kneeling on the floor, and he just laid them on the floor next to him. And I just remember all these different knives on the floor. And he looked at me again, and he's like, "You sure? I'm gonna ask you one last time. You sure you don't want to be with me?" I was like, "Nah." And then I just remember him saying, "Well, if I can't have you, nobody can have you."
When I was younger, and I used to see people in my family, or just people in general, have these 20, 30, 40-year marriages, right?
Okay.
When I was younger, I used to be like, wow, I want something like that. Like, I want to be so in love with somebody that I'm with them for 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Sure.
And we die together. I used to think that what held marriages together for that long was true love.
Yeah.
And of course, communication, understanding, sacrifice, all those things. Let me tell y'all what really holds marriages together.
Okay.
Women just putting up with shit. That's all it is.
I do not believe in healthy marriages. Let me tell you why. So I used to be an au pair. Okay. So I'm going to talk to y'all while I'm working. And I have lived with a lot of random families because I've had to work for them. So when you're an au pair, you live in with the family, take care of their kids, right? You get to see everything that's going on in that family. I will tell you about one family in particular. I have lots of stories, but I want to tell you about one family in particular. So I worked for this family, professional family. Both of them attorneys, got along really well. I actually looked up to them because when I looked at them as husband and wife, I was like, that's the type of relationship that I wanted. I kid you not. They always respected each other. They just showed so much love to each other, you know, cared about each other's day, all types of things, right? And there used to be one lady that used to come over to the house all the time. She was the interior decorator.
A man is 7 times more likely to leave his wife if she becomes seriously ill than the other way around. Turns out that whole in sickness and in health thing doesn't really mean much, at least not to the menfolk. A recent study tracked 25,000 straight couples over 18 years, and they found that most of the time when the husband got sick, the couple stayed together. But when it was the wife getting diagnosed, the marriage was far more likely to end. And this is in line with many other studies on the matter, like one from 2009, which found that when men were diagnosed with cancer or multiple sclerosis, the divorce rate basically didn't change. But when their wife was, they were 7 times more likely to leave her. And experts say this mostly comes down to gender roles. In a lot of households, women take on the invisible loan of cooking and cleaning and scheduling and logistics, all the things that keep a house and a family running, in addition to whatever paid work they're doing. When she suddenly can't do that anymore, a lot of the marriages fail because they were quietly built on all that unpaid labor. Nurses and doctors talk about this all the time, about how often they see their female patients be abandoned by their partners and have to face treatment alone. Now, yes, most divorces are initiated by women overall. Lawyers and researchers say this is all because of the same root problem: years of unpaid labor and unmet requests for help. So if you're partnered, maybe have these uncomfortable conversations now, before a crisis. Because love and commitment are not about wedded bliss. It's about who's going to show up for each other when things get hard and dark. You want a durable marriage, don't just plan a wedding, plan the caregiving.
It's all about service for men. Men are out there looking for women that will serve them. When you think marriage, or when they think marriage, they think service. A man will not go for a woman that he thinks will not serve him. Wealthy men go for flashy women because they use those women to gain points. They want them to be trophies to them, so they can use them to show off. Men that are not wealthy focus on women that will serve them the most. Wealthy men have money to pay maids, to pay workers to get the job done. Then they use the women as trophies. Men that don't have money can't afford that, so they look for women that will serve them. Let's see how people are reacting to this in the comment section. Also, daughters stick by their parents through aging rather than the sons. Very true. The sons don't care. They are very selfish. Most of them, not all of them. There are numerous cases of sons abandoning their aged parents. I mean, are we surprised? No, we're not surprised. We hear this all the time. It's all over the internet. Women are complaining about it. And looking at how men are, I don't think this is surprising to women. I mean, we've been knowing this. It's literally like this worldwide. Not surprised. My ex cheated on me while I was going through cancer treatment. He blamed me for being sick. imagine that. We are the real gold diggers. Please stand up. You know yourself, man. We're talking to you. Men, speak up, defend yourself. Do you think you're going to do that? Because a lot of them are guilty. Most of them are guilty of this. Marriage is not worth it. Marriage is service. When a man is looking for a woman to marry, he's looking for someone to serve him. The moment you no longer can serve that man, the man is going to dump you and move on to the next woman that will serve him. And this is what they mean when they say marriage benefits men, not women. My dad stayed with my mom when she was diagnosed with cancer. In fact, he learned to dance so that when she healed, he could ask her to dance for the first time. They've been married for 42 years now. Your dad is an exception. I asked my ex-husband to take me to the hospital and he said, "What does you being sick have to do with me? This is someone I took care of for years when he was mentally and physically ill. We don't need studies. We live among the people and we know the truth." This is coming from a man. And the shame single women when we don't want to settle for just anybody. If she gets ugly, it will end too. This is so disgusting to me. It shows that men have no loyalty except to themselves. Women are also the ones more likely to get sick than men, especially with autoimmune conditions. A lot of links to that has to be shown because women are often the ones saddled with unpaid labor and working. So men are leaving sick women as a result of them usually causing women to get sick in the first place for not pulling their weight. Yeah, I get what she's trying to say. Men are the reason why women are sick because women are working too much. They have so much load that they are carrying, and women are falling sick because these men refused to assist. And when women fall sick, these same men will abandon those women. So the men are the root cause of the disease and why women are down with sickness. They are also likely to leave if it's their children getting sick.
One thing my grandpa used to preach to me was like, women don't need you. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. That's deep. Cause they don't. You know, women got toys to fill that void. they taking trips now. They got friends. They going on brunch. They going to Pilates together. Women know how to be content. Even if they ain't getting sex, even if they ain't getting love from a man, they can be content. But men, we can't do that. That's why you see men out here off their rocker, crashing out. Don't know what to do. You need to understand, calm down, bro. You need a woman. It ain't all about the sex, bro, but you need companionship. You need a woman to talk to. You need friends. I'm learning about my life, bro. I was so content on I don't need a woman. Yes, you do. It's okay to admit it because women are a blessing from God. 100.
Were women created to lead or to follow?
I mean, neither inherently. What do you think?
What do you mean, neither inherently?
I think that a woman can develop into a great leader if she has the skill set, if she gets educated like my mom. If I think a lot of women can be great leaders, but inherently, nobody's a leader or a follower. Some women are going to be more predisposed to following people. I don't think that binary is quite true. Do you think
Would you ever follow a woman?
Sure.
You will follow a woman?
Yeah.
You will follow a woman?
I have a question for you.
No. Would you follow a woman?
Yes. Why are you trying to pin me down on this? I have a question for you.
Why would you follow a woman?
Say you have a man that is about to take you into a battle that you know you're going to lose.
No. Why would you follow a woman? You don't believe in God, huh?
See, those two things aren't connected. Wait, I have a question.
Do you believe in God?
No.
So why is it that you don't believe God exists?
No, probably not.
So do you believe in evil?
Do I believe in evil?
Yeah.
Sure, the characteristic of evil, sure, yeah.
So you don't believe in good, but you believe in evil.
Wait, no, do I believe in God or good?
Good.
Oh, I do believe in good.
But you believe in good and evil, right?
Yeah.
So how can you believe in good and evil and not believe in God?
I don't need a Bible to tell me that women have bodily autonomy. I don't need a Bible to tell me that killing is wrong. I can kind of intuit some of these things.
Where do you get your good from if you don't believe there's a God?
My mom. From women.
Your mother?
From women, yeah. I follow women.
Your mother is good?
No, women. I just follow women all the time.
Is your mother good?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You don't think so?
The comment section is not fun at all. Women are roasting him. They're calling him a pig, a drunk. They said he has low IQ. But I'm not going to read those comments. Let's read other comments. Women are the first leaders. Mothers lead their children on how to survive. It's always them, I guess, the black men. I hate how women are just talked as topic like we are objects. Nobody asks what is a man or anything. This guy is basically saying that if if God didn't exist, he would do whatever he wants because the only thing holding him back is God. Interesting. Biology actually suggests that yes, women might be intended to lead and men to protect. Higher rationality, less emotionality, and dealing better with stress situations due to thicker nerve cells in the spine than men. Why do women get hated on so much? We have endured it for centuries and it only got a little less worse, but we are always the main target. Oh my God, that was hard to listen to and not judge. Are they talking to each other, or is the old guy in a total different conversation? I felt so, because he was just jumping around. Jumped from the woman talk to God, to good, to evil. I was trying to understand what he was saying. The Chinese government just flipped divorce law on its head. Wives reportedly can no longer claim their husband's property after a split. If the house is in his name, it stays his, no matter how long they were married or what she contributed. Yeah, that's what they said. I looked for articles and it's true. The government said if a man purchases a property in his name before his marriage or during the course of his marriage, that property becomes his and his forever. The woman cannot demand for the property to be shared amongst the both of them if she did not contribute financially and if her name is not also in the property. So if you contribute financially but your name is not in the property, you have the name of your husband has the right to claim the property and you cannot sue him for that. If you're a stay-at-home mom and your husband is out there working and he buys a property, puts it in his name, you cannot claim that property. You don't have any right towards that property. The property is his as long as you did not contribute financially and you don't have your name in that property. So for women that have chosen to be stay-at-home moms, do not go to China to practice that, because should your husband decide to leave you, you're going to be left empty-handed. Think about it. Let's see how people are reacting to this new law in the comment section. Consequence: women will happily choose independence over marriage and straight men will remain alone. I can see the outcome of this. Less marriage and more men being lonely. Won't get married my whole life is the best choice. Ha ha ha. The world is beautiful now. We got wives no longer making men broke before GTA 6. Drop them bet rates, ladies. China gonna have lower bet rates. Independent bodies unite. It's about time women become independent and stop depending on men. So now it's too risky to be a stay-at-home mom, because if you have nothing and you divorce, you will lose kids, etc. Ladies, look out for yourself. Do not give up your career or anything to start a family. You are not safe, nor are you protected anymore. This is coming from a man. Divorce rate dropped off to 0% in China. I think he's basically saying that women are intentionally divorcing men so they can get money off men. Some women do that, but on a large scale, that's not the case. Women are leaving because of the unpaid labor, the stress, because of men's bad behavior. Next headline: why aren't women choosing to have families anymore? True, sometimes they act like they have amnesia. You are putting out this law, and then in the future, you will still be the same person complaining that women are not getting married anymore, the birth rate is declining and all that. I don't get it. Great. No woman will be a stay-at-home mom for them. Enjoy the loneliness epidemic.
Ladies, if you are about to get married, I would recommend you keep or get, if you don't already have, your own property. House, apartment, condo, townhouse, outhouse, henhouse, whatever, your own place. I say this as a man in his late 40s who's been married 17 years, and I see what happens in a marriage, right? Ups and downs. People can come and go. My wife could have left me at any time, all right? And if she had, what would happen to her? It'd be tough. So anybody who's young in their 20s, and I meet them and they're like, oh, you have any advice for getting married? I'm like, yeah, have your own place. Set yourself up that in the event something goes wrong, that you have somewhere to go to. You have something to fall back on. You have a place you can stay. And I'm not talking about just like an abusive situation where you have to escape. I mean, your spouse could pass away. You guys could grow apart. Any number of things could happen. And what does this have to do with psychotherapy, which is my business, right? It's an additional stress when you don't have that safety net. It's much easier to control someone when they don't have anywhere to go, when they don't have that independence, right? It is really hard to say, I'm going to up and leave my husband when you can't go anywhere easily. It's really hard to think about retirement or whatever if your spouse controls the purse strings and you don't have your own asset. And look at it this way. You're like, oh, it's an extra cost and we can get a bigger place. And why would I keep that money? I'm not saying you have to keep that apartment or house empty. You can rent it out. You can have it maintained. And hey, if things work out great and in 30 years you want to give it to your kids or whatever the heck, God bless. But my point to you is, think about not what happens only if things go great and what the typical plan is. Think about what happens if things just go a little bit wrong. Just a little bit. Somebody gets sick. Somebody has an affair. Somebody wakes up one day and goes, this isn't the life I wanted. These are all real things, all real burdens that people carry up here that affect them financially, emotionally, and their health. All right? So keep your own place, have your independence, okay? And be well. Thank you.
I think women should start thinking this way moving forward, although some women are already doing so. I've seen videos of women living in separate houses, separate apartments from their spouse, from their husband. And according to them, they say that's the best way to go. That saved their marriage and strengthened their marriage. This is going to curb that mentality that marriage is all about service. If a man understands that that woman is not going to move in with him, cook for him, do his laundry, clean after him, then I think he's going to treat marriage for what marriage is supposed to be. I mean, partnership. If you know you have to foot your own bills, you have to do your thing, and that woman has to foot her own bills, and she has the right to walk out at any point in time whenever she feels uncomfortable, I think that is definitely going to put men on their toes to behave well. If they really want to be in that relationship, if they really truly want to do life together with that woman. I'm not going to talk about cheating. A cheat is a cheat. Whether you stay in the house with him or you stay separate, he's still going to cheat. He will find a way to cheat. If a man decides to cheat because the both of you are staying separately as couple, then that man has always been a cheat and he never valued that relationship and never wanted it. So personally, I think this should be something a lot of we women should be looking into, because it's definitely going to solve a lot of marital issue. If a man knows that he has to pay his own bills, clean after himself, I don't think he'll be out there looking for who to control, especially when he knows that that woman is also capable and she's paying her own bills and doing her own things herself. Or maybe he decides to pay her rent for her or buy the house for her, but she's not under the same roof as he is. I think they will be forced to grow and become mature because no one is coming to clean up after them. Let's have a look at this video of a lady complaining that her boyfriend was embarrassed of her. He was hiding her from the public, but was nice to her in private. Let's have a look.
So I was in love with a man who was ashamed of me. Let's unpack that. Now, I was so in love with this man. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. We were inseparable. Wherever he was, I was. Wherever I was, he was. We was on the phone all the time, talking about any and everything. I thought he was my person. I would also like to believe that there was a small part of him that thought the same thing. Now, when we were younger, we were very discreet. Nobody really knew what we had going on. People who knew, they knew, and those who didn't, they had no clue. We were never public. We never acted like we were dating. We never even talked about being boyfriend, girlfriend. I used to just think it was some little fun game we were playing. The whole time, all of that discretion was because he didn't want to be seen with me because he was embarrassed. And the way I found this out was so hurtful. One day I was walking home from school and he was outside playing basketball. When his friends saw me and said, "Hey man, there go your girl," he looked at his friend with such rage and was like, "Stop fucking playing with me." He wasn't aware that I heard what he said. His friend was like, "Man, if you like her, it's okay. You don't have to be embarrassed." He like, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't like that girl." He was right about one thing. He didn't like me. He loved me. And he was embarrassed that he loved me. I shed a little tear as I continued to walk home. And I never told him I heard that conversation. But it was that day I understood. This man is embarrassed. And he doesn't want anybody to know that he likes me or that he's involved with me at all. Whenever we were alone, he would act one way. When we were in front of people we knew, he would act a totally different way. Whenever he would see other men take interest in me, particularly his friends, he would have to fight to act like he didn't care. At one point, he got involved with a girl that I knew. And this girl knew that he had something going on with me. But in order to overcompensate and pretend like he didn't, he would talk about me in such a vulgar way. How disgusting I was, how ugly I was. It was now beyond like, "Hey, I don't like her." Now it was, "She's ugly." I said, "Oh, okay." I confronted him and asked him if what he said was true. He said, "Yeah, I did say those things." After that day, I didn't talk to him anymore for years because I knew I deserved better than that, even as a friend. And anybody who loves you is not going to do that. And it was a really weird feeling to watch somebody you loved so much become a bully. More specifically, a bully to you. And as I walked away from him that day, all the memories of us began to flash through my mind. Every love letter, every conversation, every kiss, every hug, every moment he walked me home. I questioned if any of it was ever real. I questioned if the version of him he showed me was even real, or if he was just faking. But some of those kisses seemed just too real to be fake. I made peace with his shame, and his pride overcompensated for his guilt. We didn't talk for years, and somehow we got back in contact, and it was like a love roller coaster all over again. We couldn't help that we loved each other, but this man, after all those years, was still ashamed of me. Maybe not as ashamed as he was before, but still ashamed nonetheless. His friends would make fun of him for liking me, would make fun of him for hanging out with me. And I know deep down inside that did something to him because he cared about what other men thought about him. More specifically, the men he wanted to admire him. He would confess and tell me all the things that his friends would say. And the irony of all this, those men who were talking about me in such a way, they wanted me. Yeah, they liked me too. But when they were talking to him, they also would act like I was ugly and disgusting to overcompensate for the fact that they were actually attracted to me. He never knew that some of his friends were in my DMs, and I never told him because I wanted to see if after all these years he had learned anything. Unfortunately, he didn't. He still hated himself, and he was still so desperately trying to impress men that wanted the same thing he was trying to pretend that he hated, even though the men that he was fronting to wanted what he wanted. Eventually, he started dating other women, and he would always go for a certain type of woman. And he was always overcompensating. I used to watch how he moved in the world and just say, that man got so much trauma. Everything he did was rooted in trauma. It was driving everything he did or did not do. And I began to think to myself, was this really love or were we just trauma bonded? I really did genuinely love him, but that couldn't have been it. We believed in each other's dreams. He supported me. I supported him. He was invested in me just as much as I was invested in him, but only privately and only when it made him look good. Eventually, I had to walk away from him again for the same reason I walked away the first time, because I had to wake up and realize that love is not accompanied with shame. Someone who loves you is not going to be ashamed of you in any capacity. And if he really loved me, he would have had some humility, and he wouldn't have allowed anybody to make him feel bad for the feelings he had for me. Baby, I ain't nobody's secret. I'm a star, and I always have been. And he was a star too, which is why I liked him so much. He chose to put his fire out to blend in with logs, but he did stick with me for a long time. But it also motivated me and reminded me to never settle. I don't care how much you love somebody.
Let me know what you think about her story in the comment section. I think the man has low self-esteem problem. I think the man was living his life for his friends, which is very common. A lot of men live their life for male validation. If their friends don't accept something, they wouldn't do it. Even when they themselves deeply want to do that. That's what they want, but they wouldn't do it. It's all about what is being approved by their friends. And I think he did not consider her to be his type. That was why he was dating her behind and hiding her from the public.
I would not allow my own wife to do that, because once she puts it on, it shapes her shoulders, her back, maybe even her waist, and maybe tightens the abaya so that her chest would also be apparent more than if she did not wear the backpack. If she wants to wear it, she can wear it underneath the abaya, put the abaya on top. No one can see the difference except this hump on the back, but nothing else. But to wear it on top of the abaya, this is totally inappropriate, and Allah knows.
Ever since he told me that he was going to engage Mama, I was so happy. And it has been my wish that he would be happy. So, on the day of the engagement, he kept calling and saying, Ella, how's everything going? The flower arrangement? I found the love.
The backpack, its ownership. So the imam, I guess that's what they call the Muslim preachers, was speaking against women carrying backpacks. backpack. He literally said he would not allow his wife, his woman, to carry backpack because if she does carry backpack, it's going to make her chest protrude forward, and that is inappropriate. He would rather have her carry the backpack inside of her outfit, making her look like someone that has hunchback, if you get what I mean. Ownership. Men battling with their personal insecurities and projecting it on women. You have problem with other men competing for your woman and you're taking it out on her. Ownership, and they use religion to decorate it. Let's talk about the other video. I stumbled upon the woman's video, because she came out to clear the air, and according to her, she said she had told this guy, let me say this, I don't support violence. I'm totally against she hitting him, but come on, one, that's someone's wedding. It was actually wrong in the first place. That is someone's wedding. Why would you want to propose at someone else's wedding? But let me go back to what I was saying. I saw her video and she was explaining what had happened. According to her, she said she told this man that she didn't want to date him. They've been friends for a while and he's been asking her out for a long time. She lives in Lagos and he stays in Port Harcourt. She said she doesn't want long distance relationship. They invited the both of them to that wedding and he chose to propose. Does that even make sense? Are you sure they didn't plan this? Does that make sense? So this particular video has gone viral. Let me know what you think about this video and the Imam's video in the comment section.
So you're married,
yes,
and you got the right one.
Okay.
Okay, so how long you been married?
38 years.
Oh, he got to be the right one if you stayed that long.
No, we live in separate homes. That is the right way to live for 38 years.
Wait a minute, how long y'all lived in separate homes?
10.
And it gets y'all, that works for y'all?
Fabulous.
Where y'all live in different states?
No, we live here in Detroit.
In different homes?
Yes.
So how does it work? I'm fascinated. Come on.
You go to your home and I go to mine. We don't have to argue. We don't have to yap. It's a good deal.
And you trust him?
Of course.
He trusts you?
Of course.
How often y'all see each other?
All the time.
But y'all don't sleep in the same place unless you want,
Yeah.
You want to do that.
Yeah. But it's a great deal.
My son is behind that camera. He taking all this in.
When you're married that long, it's wonderful. You don't have to get a divorce. Just get in separate houses.
Y'all heard it. When the right one comes, don't have to live under the same roof.
That's right.
Thank you.
Let's have a look at the comment section. And look how beautiful, youthful, and peaceful she looks. I mean, I'm not going to knock it, but it seems to work for her. The peace she has says everything about their relationship. Works for them. Love it. This makes so much sense. We don't have to live in the same living quarters to respect, love, admire, and in sickness and health each other. It cuts down on arguments and you can get some good rest. Besides that, they've already lived together almost 3 decades. What more do you want from them? They are still working on their marriage, but found peace in their marriage. A marriage is not based on your address or you judging. Hope you've been happily married for at least 20 years. The only marriage I will have at this point. After my divorce, not sure if I can do the in-house marriage thing. Different strokes for different folks. If it works for them, good for them. My purpose for marriage is companionship, plus knowing how much money we're spending on housing costs. You can have your own room, own wing of the house, but we're living together under the same roof. A married man of 40 years once told me the key to successful marriage is either separate or a big house, so she got the memo. They've decided ain't nobody else going to benefit from their retirement and savings. They have worked too hard and endured too much. If this works for them, I applaud it. Doesn't work for all, but for some it can work and beneficial. They are separated, just choosing not to divorce. Pay attention to her response. Yeah, that was what she said. They are separated, but they chose not to divorce. They chose to live in separate apartments. People do have this arrangement. Personally, I think this is something that women should consider doing. It takes off that domestic labor burden. If a man can take time to cater for himself when he's single, he should do the same when he's married. When you have your own apartment or your own house and your husband has his own personal space, his own apartment and house, whichever one it is, that man will be forced to be responsible. If he chooses not to be responsible, then he should have the money to pay people for such services. Services like cleaning up after him, cooking and all that. Because a lot of men get married with the mindset of service, the mindset of finding a woman that will come and serve them, do things for them, replace their mothers for those that had mothers in their lives. You get what I mean? I want a boyfriend who has his own space, the right way to live. Sherry Lee Raff and her husband have lived and continue to live separately for years. I couldn't do this, but marriage is not a one-size-fits-all situation. Yeah, true. I totally do agree with you, but trust me, this arrangement is going to solve a lot of marital issue, because I feel like most of the marital issue revolves around men enslaving women. Aside people cheating, a cheat will always be a cheat. If you like, you stay under the same roof. If you like, you become conjoined twins. The moment he gets that little opportunity, he's going to cheat because he has it in him. So I don't think deciding to stay separate is going to make someone that was never a cheat become a cheat, or someone that was a cheat stop cheating. No. Should a man start cheating after separation, it means that man has always wanted to be a cheat. And go for someone that is very intentional about your relationship, someone that really wants to be in that relationship with you, someone that is choosing you, not someone that you're forcing to be in a relationship, or someone that just feels the need to be in a relationship. Such people can easily destroy the relationship. But if a man knows what he stands to lose, should he misbehave, he would definitely do everything within his power to make sure he keeps the relationship. I don't know if I'm making sense. So people might say, oh, if we separate, it's going to give him room to cheat. Why would you want to be in a relationship where you feel that way, where you feel like you have to be over the shoulder of your man to keep him in check? That's not a relationship. This also might not work for everyone. Looking at the economic situation of the world globally, people are struggling to get by. So coming together does seem like a good financial plan, but is it good for the relationship? It's up to you to pick and choose and make your decision.
Any man who does not take care of his child, don't involve yourself with. It did take me 3 years to learn that, but the lesson was learned. Because I'm not abused or in jail or in debt.
That happened before in the past?
Yes.
Abused, in jail, in debt. All same relationship or different?
Different. And one was all three.
Why were you in jail for somebody?
You know, trying to be a ride or die and taking on responsibility that was not my own. And I learned very quickly how expensive being a ride or die is. So, you know, taking
ride or die like how? Like, oh, 1738. No, said, hey, what's up? Hello. And that was your man?
At the time.
Like boyfriend, girlfriend?
Yes.
And he never did anything else wrong, like cheated or anything?
Oh, was absolutely cheating.
So you stayed with a man after cheating on you, and that man ended up getting you
4 times.
4 times.
Had a baby. Got me arrested 3 times. Only went to jail the once. Got my car repossessed and almost got me evicted.
And not to offend you anything, but sometimes I understand when Kanye West said, for 400 years, slavery sound like a choice.
Wait.
Did you take care of the baby?
You know what? That lady ended up passing away and the baby went to her mother.
That didn't answer my question, but that sounds very terrible.
He just grabbed a whole bunch of knives and he just, I remember kneeling on the floor and he just laid them on the floor next to him. And I just remember all these different knives on the floor. And he looked at me again and he's like, you sure? I'm gonna ask you one last time. You sure you don't want to be with me? I was like, nah. And then I just remember him saying, well, if I can't have you, nobody can have you. That's when he stabbed me the first time. When he stabbed me the first time, I was in complete shock. My body couldn't move. I couldn't talk. I couldn't think. I was like, I don't even think I could blink. I was in shock. I really never in a million years. This guy never put his hands on me, never yelled at me, never the little petty arguments we got. It was never no bitch, nothing, no curse word, nothing. Never treated me bad. I never in a million years would have thought that he would have stabbed me. So when he did, I was shocked. But you know what was even more shocking? When he didn't stop. And the knives just kept coming. And for the beginning of it all, I'm just sitting there. I think that's where the stab wounds on my shoulder come from. And I'm just sitting there. I'm just like shocked. I couldn't move. I just sitting there while he's coming at me. And then finally the shock wears off and it's like, bitch, he's coming at you. You better start blocking him. She was like, what the hell? So I start blocking. He's catching me at my arm, my shoulder. Boom. Then my pinky, I guess when he tried to come at me with the knife, it caught my pinky. And my pinky fell off. I don't remember if it was hanging or if it fell off, but I just remember seeing my bone and my nerves and everything. It was like a horror movie and just blood. You see in the horror movies how the blood, it really comes out like that. That's not even fake. It really comes out like that. Like really pumping out.
How'd you get your pinky back?
They put it back together, but I didn't follow the
the therapy or whatever.
Yeah, so I can't move it still.
Wow.
Anybody, carry frying pan and hit my head if I ever try this again. The first time I took a loan, I gave it to a man. The second time I took a loan, I gave it to a man. The third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, maybe even the eighth, all given to a man by me. Do you know why? I thought that his dreams were more important than mine. So I wanted him to achieve his, so that if he achieved his own, he would know that I was there for him, that I stood by him, and then he would love me completely. I thought that my role was to sacrifice. And I told him, one time I said, look, I don't have any way to get us rich or to make us rich. You have to be the one to make us rich. I'm depending on you to make us rich. That was what I told the man, because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't think that I could make money on my own. I completely forgot that I promised my younger self that I was going to grow up and be somebody. I thought to myself, like, if I help a man achieve his dreams, it's for me as well. So why not focus on helping him achieve his dreams? So that was my focus, because as a woman, what is your role except to help your man make it? Because if your man makes it, you have made it too now. That was my thinking. If I ever put my life and my dreams in the hands of a man again, all 46,000 of you should please take frying pan and hit my head 1,000,000 times. After you have hit my head 1,000,000 times and the head has scattered on the floor or on the ground, wherever it is that you scattered it, take pistol, take mortar, take grinding stone, and then grind it again so that it can be completely scattered. I'm giving you my permission to do that. All the money I thought I couldn't make or manage. Look at me now. I'm managing money by myself very well. Sometimes I splurge on wigs, but we are managing. But the problem, you see, it was just in my mind, because I've been programmed by society to believe that I could not make money or manage money on my own. My mother used to tell me, come and learn how to clean, come and learn how to sweep, come and learn how to cook, so that a rich man can see you and marry you and change your story. So I never believed that I could be the rich man.
Did you listen to the lady that was interviewed telling the story? How did you feel towards the end of it? What she said? When she said the lady is dead, I was confused. I went through the comment section and we were like, oh, this is spooky. Oh, that's a ghost telling the story. Anyways, I think the story has a longer version of it. You can follow the link and find the longer version of the story. But I think she was telling someone else's story, not her story. The way she told the story made me think it was her story. She's a good storyteller. Let's talk about the second woman that narrated her ordeal with her boyfriend that said, if I can't have you, no other man will. That was scary, I tell you, to have gone through such. I'm glad she survived it. And that explains why she has tattoo all over her body that way. I know some people do tattoo, some people love it that way, like all over. But I guess that might be the reason why she did hers, just to cover up the scars and all that. Listening to the story, I had my skin crawling. Goodness, people are mean. People are wicked. Then the last girl that said she felt she didn't have the capability, the ability to make money. It has to come from a man. I don't blame her. This was how a lot of us got raised. A man has to be the one with the money. Be this way so a rich man can marry you. Do this so a rich man will pick you. They never tell us that you can be that rich person. No, it has to come from a man. Her story is not an isolated one. So many people out there are doing the same thing, even up to this time. I'm not lying, I'm not joking. Yeah, they have this mentality, so many women, that a man has to lead even when the woman has money. You will see some women pushing it forward that the money is coming from their husband, because in a way the society forbids women from being successful. So when a woman is the one with the money, she presents her husband to be the one with the money, and she makes the public not believe and even notice that she's the one with the money. That was the society's own way of breaking us women, making us believe that we are not supposed to be successful. All we've been created for is to serve a man, marry a man, and have children. That was what they did. And a lot of us believe that and lived that way. But I tell you, that's not what it is. Why would you borrow money, take a loan and give to a man to become successful and then come rescue you? Does that make sense? Doesn't that route sound too long? Don't you think it's easier for you to collect the money, borrow the money for your own self, and then make yourself successful and help the man if you really have to help the man? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section.
When I was younger, and I used to see people in my family, or just people in general, have these 20, 30, 40-year marriages, right?
Okay.
When I was younger, I used to be like, wow, I want something like that. Like, I want to be so in love with somebody that I'm with them for 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Sure.
And we die together. I used to think that what held marriages together for that long was true love.
Yeah.
And of course, communication, understanding, sacrifice, all those things. Let me tell y'all what really holds marriages together.
Okay.
Women just putting up with shit. That's all it is.
Ooh.
When you understand that all it takes to keep a man is for you to constantly be forgiving bullshit and constantly be like, oh, okay, I don't want to lose him, so I'm gonna forgive this, I'm gonna forgive that.
Let me know what your thoughts are.
How long marriage is.
I do not believe in healthy marriages. Let me tell you why. So I used to be an au pair, okay? So I'm going to talk to y'all while I'm working. And I have lived with a lot of random families because I've had to work for them. So when you're an au pair, you live in with the family, take care of their kids, right? You get to see everything that's going on in that family. I will tell you about one family in particular. I have lots of stories, but I want to tell you about one family in particular. So I worked for this family, professional family. Both of them attorneys, got along really well. I actually looked up to them because when I looked at them as husband and wife, I was like, that's the type of relationship that I wanted. I kid you not. They always respected each other. They just showed so much love to each other, you know, cared about each other's day, all types of things, right? And there used to be one lady that used to come over to the house all the time. She was the interior decorator. She was introduced as the interior decorator. She was the family friend. Okay? So we ended up, I ended up taking a liking to her because she came across as very sweet as well. But she was there every single day. And I never thought anything of it. All right? I was just busy with the kids, taking them, bringing them, all types of stuff. So anyways, the wife ended up throwing a party for her husband because he had to go out of town once. And the interior decorator was there too with her boyfriend. And at the party, we were all talking and stuff, laughing and joking. Everyone's getting along, right? There's nothing to suspect. And then while he is out of town, he calls me. He's like, hey, I got to talk to you. So I was like, okay, what's going on? He's like, no, we'll just wait until I get there. So when he got home, he talked to me. He said, hey, we are getting a divorce. I'm like, you gotta fucking be kidding me. Like, what the fuck? I've been here for 2 years. Like, I've never seen them argue. I've never seen them look at each other in any type of like fucked up way. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just looked at this couple and you would never have suspected a damn thing. I have never ever seen them argue. They were literally came across as this fun couple, happy-go-lucky. They got along really well, laughing, joking. You know, they were fun to be around, right? Anybody who was around them, like, it was always just joyful. And so when he told me that, I did not say anything to the wife because I thought that they discussed this and, you know, he was the one that's relaying the message. I have nothing to question because I work there, I live there, I don't care, right? So Christmas comes around, still you seeing a happy couple. After he told me, they're still acting absolutely normal, right? Still giving off loving vibes, having dinner together, all kinds of stuff. And Christmas is she's sitting on his lap, they're hugging, kissing. I love you, you love me, we're a happy family. Okay? And then the next month comes around and she comes into my room and she's like, hey, we're getting divorced. I'm like, yeah, I know, he told me. She's like, what? Okay, that's a whole nother situation. That should blow up. I did not expect that to happen because I thought this is something that they talked about. And I told her, I was like, I thought this is something that you guys talked about before your relayed that information to me, right? And she was like, no, I didn't know that he was going to say this to you, and I said, okay. So now, moving forward, fast forward, he moved out of the house, got his own place, and whenever I would take the children over there, my interior decorator was there. Because I always wondered, like, why the fuck there's nothing being changed up in that house? But he was rearranging that ass. That's the only thing that was happening, okay? And long story short, you might look at all these couples on social media thinking they are a wonderful couple, or they want to brag about what the fuck is going on. That shit is not the case. That is not the case. You might find couples together 10, 20 years. That don't mean that they're happy. Just what works for them might not work for you. Some of them have settled in that situation. They don't want to be alone. They want to be there. It's now their norm. Okay? They might be like, oh, ain't no gender roles in my house. I mean, I do this, he do that, whatever. Okay, great. Fine and dandy. Not me. Because I have also been in the situation. I was once married too. You know, I don't give a fuck how much you do for that person. Because I didn't see no gender roles. I would take out the trash if I have to as well. That don't mean a damn thing. Okay? Because a lot of you people come on here and try and romanticize this life, thinking that marriage is cute. It's not cute. It's not always cute. You have to learn a whole nother person, a whole other person's whole entire life. Try to figure out what's going on in their brain, because today they might be like you. Tomorrow it can be fuck you. That's all I'm saying.
What she said might not apply to all marriages, but dealing with humans is difficult. Like she said, you have to learn, you have to understand your partner. And sometimes, or if not most of the time, that person may be changing to something else. Today, they might be sweet. Tomorrow, they're angry. Not because of what you did, but it's mainly because of them and how they feel. So it's not easy. It's not an easy journey. Don't let anyone deceive you. And if you can, consider staying in your own space. That's why as a woman, you should have your own money. If you have your own money, you should be able to afford your own space, no matter how small it is. You don't have to give up your freedom, your peace of mind, because you want to be married to someone. If you speak of protection, we've got the government security agencies out there to protect. How many men do you know protect women these days? I'm talking about physical protection. Men are also supposed to protect beyond physical protection, but most of them don't know how to do that part. And I tell you, other aspects of protection causes problem in relationship because men don't step up in such areas. They leave the workload for women. It contributes to what weighs women down in relationships. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for your support.